Hey, pipe smokers. Southern Piper here. I want to thank you for stopping by on this lovely Sunday afternoon here in Central Alabama. It's a beautiful day, even though I'm sitting inside. But I want to tell you a story. If memory serves, it was a Tuesday morning, and I was living here in Birmingham, Hoover to be exact. I was working downtown, and I was relatively newly married and had a kid on the way. And kind of did my normal routine of getting up, and I would take the freeway from Hoover to downtown. And I would get off, I believe, on, it was like 3rd Avenue North or something like that in Birmingham. And I would listen to classic rock, 99.5. Big fan of classic rock. I still am. And there was the news girl for Rock 99.5 was, her name was Roxanne. She did the news every morning. So I'd gotten off the interstate and worked in one of the high rises in Birmingham. And if you've ever been to Birmingham, there's not many high rises, and they're not that tall. I think the tallest is 37 stories. I worked in the Harbert Plaza, was what it was known at the time. If you've ever been to downtown Birmingham, it's the one with it's got a like pyramid on top, and it's got the big spheres on each corner of the building. We used to call it the bank with balls. But anyway, so sitting in a red light, Roxanne comes on to the news, yada yada. A plane has hit the World Trade Center. And I thought, that's weird. And I thought back, many of you might remember several years prior, there had been a little commuter type, not commuter, that's the wrong word, like a little personal, like a Piper or a Cessna or something small had hit one of the World Trade Center buildings. Only fatality was the pilot of the small aircraft. So Roxanne finished up her news segment. Back to your favorite classic rock. And the parking lot that I parked in was about 2 blocks from the building I worked in on the other side from the freeway. So parked, and one of the ladies I worked with had parked at the same time. And she said, "Hey, did you hear about the plane hitting the World Trade Center?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I was just talking to my sister," because we did have cell phones at the time. And she said another plane hit the other building, hit the other tower. And I was like, oh my God. How quickly rumors spread and how quickly things escalate. How silly. Didn't think another thing about it. And at the time, I mean, we had cell phones, but they weren't like we have today. You couldn't check news on it, and you didn't have the accessibility of things back then like we do now. So she and I walk in together, not even talking about the news and the rumor. And we get up to work, and the floor we worked on was empty. Thought, well, that's weird. Where's everybody? And we walked around to the other side of the floor where a conference room was, and we found everybody. They had rolled TV into a conference room, and we stood there watching the world stand still. And life has really never been the same since. There was a certain innocence lost, and I speak for myself. I don't know if I can speak for a lot of people my age, but it was kind of like a loss of innocence, in that I was 25. Had recently got married. We had a kid on the way, and I was working in downtown Birmingham. I had to wear a suit every day. I thought that I was it. I even got an insurance discount because I had turned 25 that year. But it was probably the first time in my 25 years that I'd ever had any real adversity, and wondering what tomorrow would bring. And as we sat there, watching the buildings burn and eventually collapsing, and trying to make some sense, and I was in finance. The market's closed, so there wasn't a lot to do other than to sit around the TV. But when there was another conference room on our floor that faced north, and the glide path for Birmingham Airport was perpendicular. So at one point, I remember walking in the conference room and seeing all these planes lined up on approach to land at Birmingham because, everything had been grounded. It was just the eeriest day. Just the eeriest day. It was very difficult to try to make heads or tails. So it was truly a day where time stood still, and we got to see what real heroes look like, and we got to see what real cowards look like too. I know a lot of people have forgotten, they don't care, but I don't think we should ever forget what happened that day. And hopefully this will help do that. So housekeeping, what am I smoking? I am smoking in honor of those first responders. I am smoking Cornell and Diehl First Responder. This was originally blended post 9/11 in honor of the men and women who gave their lives that day, trying to do what they could to save the victims of that horrific day. So I smoke it to honor them. I also smoke it in honor of all of you out there who put your lives on the line day in and day out. And when the rest of us run away from danger, you're running toward it to save lives, to save property. And so thank you for that. And I'm a one-armed bandit today, but I will drink a toast to you. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for stopping by and giving me a few minutes of your time. Never forget that day. And when you see a first responder, thank them for what they do. Until next time, my friends, I bid you happy smoking and blessings to you and your family.